Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we have a look at the latest from the live radar from for the weather warnings, as we have some yellow rain warnings issued for Scotland to end this working week, as we are going to see some heavy rain in places, as we do see some very warm air waft up from the south, unfortunately giving rain in the north. We'll see that on the latest UKV as we look at the precipitation and the temperature charts, but we'll also be able to see the insanely warm temperatures we're going to be seeing for much of England and Wales through the weekend and even into the start of next week, as we see a ridiculously hot upper air mass moving in with summer-like upper air temperatures. At the surface, though, because we are into the middle of autumn now, it's not going to be anything too spectacular, but we could be looking at widely low to mid-20s come the weekend and start of next week, so a proper taste of summer for many. However, as we have a look at the longer range, quite a few of the charts now are suggesting things are going to be going very warm for a few days, and then as we head towards the middle of October, we could actually start to see a bit of a northerly plunge with the jet stream diving a little bit southwards. The GFS today is pretty ridiculous, even producing some snowfall across parts of northern England and North Wales. Again, very unlikely to happen, but just showing you the huge contrast, the huge flips we can see as we head towards the middle of autumn, where warm temperatures are still possible, like we're seeing this weekend, but equally early signs of winter are also possible, something that the models are suggesting perhaps in around a week to 10 days' time. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. And after you start on the live radar, you can see for much of England and Wales it's relatively dry, a few showers around through this evening. Further northwards, a little bit more persistent rain, especially near the Scottish border, but really nothing too bad. That rainfall will pep up over the next couple of days as the warm air wafts up from the south, giving heavier rain in the north and warmer conditions in the south. You can see the temperature contrast at the moment, generally warmer in the south, but still nothing spectacular. Still plenty of blues mixing in, so mid to high single digits for some, low teens at best. But the air mass heading our way is out towards Spain and North Africa at the moment. We're still seeing 30 plus degrees. That will be heading our way, giving us mid-20s, as said, by the weekend. Now, we do have weather warnings issued for Friday and Saturday. This rain warning, and it was updated earlier today, updated to delay the onset of the heavy rain and to move the area further northwards. Again, 30 to 50 millimetres possible, 50 to 100 millimetres over higher ground, maybe 100 to 150 millimetres is possible in a few sites. Again, it's after a lot of heavy rain around generally, so it could those sort of effects could accumulate on top of each other. High impact, low end of the likelihood scale, and as said, from midday on Friday all the way to midnight on Saturday. Now, if you look at the latest precipitation, you'll be able to see we've got a bit of rain through this evening, but really nothing too crazy. But by tomorrow morning, more heavy rain is spreading in from the north. It looks like it will be pretty much set in there for quite a period of time. Again, could die out through the afternoon and evening, but still remnants of rain there. And then as we head into Friday, we could see some more heavy rain pushing in quite locally for parts of Northern Ireland and Western Scotland, but still very heavy there where it does occur. Elsewhere, it's pretty dry, and especially to the weekend, quite a bit of sunshine for England and Wales, and plenty of warm weather, and that continues into Sunday and into Monday as well. There's been uncertainty how quickly the warmth is going to get pushed away early next week, but the latest UKV is keeping it holding on all the way into Monday afternoon here. And you can see the upper air temperatures are pretty insanely warm by Saturday, or by Friday afternoon into Saturday, around the 18 to 19 degree mark at 850 HPA. And even by Monday, we're still looking at 17 or 18 degrees, an insanely warm summer-like air mass. As I said, unfortunately, it won't equate to the sort of mid-30s we'd expect at the surface if this sort of pattern had come off in July, but it will still be very relatively warm. Low to mid-20s looks highly likely. So Thursday afternoon, we're looking at temperatures in the south, maybe 18, 19, further northwards with a bit more precipitation around and more cloud, more towards the mid to low teens. As we head into Friday, again, could look at 20 to 22 degrees quite widely as those temperatures start to rise, but it really is only into Saturday things start to get properly warm, widely low 20s, maybe peaking at 23, 24, and I do think sometimes these runs are a little bit pessimistic, could be maybe 25 or 26, looking at those upper air temperatures. Sunday, maybe a degree or two higher, looking more at 24, 25, again 26 or 27, and then finally into Monday, more widely 24 or 25, and again more 26s, and I'd expect to see maybe a 27 or 28 quite locally. So very warm conditions could be arriving for early next week, or through the weekend into early next week. Not what you'd expect as we head into October. But, as I said, cold weather could be on the horizon, and the latest GFS definitely is suggesting that. And you can see the southerly wind coming over the next few days. Very warm temperatures. We'll have a look at the upper air temperatures in a minute for this, but I do want to run through the synoptic to see what happens. You can see southerly winds over towards Monday, Tuesday, and eventually northerly winds spread it away by next Thursday, next Friday, with pretty cold Arctic air moving in around 7 to 10 days time, and this even, as I said, produces a bit of snowfall before eventually going to a more of a westerly flow. Now, do run it back to around Sunday time and put on those upper air temperatures, you'll be able to see the insanely hot air mass that is over the top of us at this stage. But cold air arrives from the Arctic, sweeping it away around that day 7 to day 10. Again, this is not exactly what will happen. This is only one solution. But this has been cropping up quite a lot recently, and quite a few ensemble members are on board. You can see -5 isotherm gets in for some, and as it gets swept away, we could see even some snow. You see some white specks appearing here for northern England, even into parts of Wales as well, and Scotland, indicating some quite heavy snowfall in few of these areas. And again, if we look at the United Kingdom temperatures, look at that, around freezing for many of these areas. And again, the dew points also towards freezing as well. Huge temperature contrast, and that will give rise to potentially some very heavy rain to the southern and eastern edge, but also potentially some heavy snowfall as well, if this pattern did come off. Again, this is an extreme scenario, but showing you the possibilities this time of year. Also, we have to have a look at the temperature deviations. You can see we are 10 degrees or 12 degrees above average over the coming days. And then as we head towards early to middle of next week, we start to go 10 to 12 degrees below average as bitterly cold air for the time of year starts to move in. But what do the other runs show? Now, this is the latest GM. We'll have a look at the upper air temperatures for this. You see very warm southerly winds arrive, giving very dominant, hot weather for the time of year, at least, through all the way to sort of Monday, Tuesday, or even Wednesday here, for eventually we do see that cold air spread in. Not quite as potent as a northerly wind, so it does spread in, but only transiently. So only a transient sort of pattern, before eventually getting swept away by more low pressures out of the Atlantic. Still got this amplified jet, as you can see here from the pressure charts, so indicating there would be more possibilities of cold weather at times. And you see lots of blues and also yellows and oranges appearing, so lots of up and downs in the upper air temperatures. So it could be quite a wild pattern towards the middle of the month where we see more warmer weather, but also some big flips towards cold weather as well. The ECMWF, if we have a look at this, again, put on those upper air temperatures, you'll be able to see once again we see insanely warm air moving in over the coming days, again giving really pleasant summer-like conditions for many, for all the way till maybe Monday, Tuesday, or even Wednesday, but primarily in the south. Colder air does spread in, again, similar to the GM, where it is a northerly flow, but it's not quite as potent as the GFS was. And eventually, we do sit on the contrasting sides of the jet. Very warm air to the south, very cold air for the time of year to the north. And you can see this from the temperature contrast here. 4 to 6 degrees above average across Europe, maybe down to 10 degrees below average towards Iceland. So almost a 15 or even 20 degree contrast here in places. Again, just showing you the colliding air masses that could be heading towards the UK. Now, after you finish by looking at the latest ensembles, you can see from the latest GFS ensembles, we're very warm this weekend, and we will continue to be very warm early into next week, and it only drops off very slowly over 4 or 5 days, so it's going to be quite a prolonged, warm and humid spell, really only getting towards average around next Wednesday, maybe even next Thursday time. But we could see a plunge towards colder weather there, and you can see plenty of runs down towards the 0 degree line or below. And remember, this is London. Areas further northwards will be colder, will be closer to that cold source. And you can see even a few runs down towards the -5 level with increased precipitation and generally the ensembles will get back towards their average. The 2 meter temperatures are hugely contrasting. Look at this, mid-20s towards the weekend and start of next week, and the operational one here down towards 9 or 10 degrees only 3 or 4 days later. Glasgow, for example, it's got even bigger a contrast, well above average, and then some runs going very cold, down towards the -5 line or lower. But you can see, with this warmer air mass, where it collides with Atlantic air, huge precipitation spikes, definitely through Friday into Saturday. And you can see the 2 meter temperatures once again, looking at mid to maybe high teens at best towards this weekend, and Monday, Tuesday we see some dry conditions, and then could drop down towards 7, 8 degrees or even lower, especially overnight, maybe down towards freezing. So massive temperature contrasts could be coming over the coming days, and you can see that on the dew points as well, dropping potentially towards freezing once again. And after you finish by just looking at the Eastern WF ensembles, very warm towards the weekend, pretty much very similar to the GFS all the way to sort of Wednesday, Thursday next week. So a big drop. Not as many dropping to very cold levels, but still quite a few getting reasonably cold, with most dropping towards average. So it's all to watch and all to play for as we head into the middle of October, but could see some big temperature contrasts in the next couple of weeks, as we do see the remnants of summer potentially colliding with the first signs of winter. So we will have to see what is in store, but definitely looks likely in the next couple of weeks you may need your hat and gloves, but also need your t-shirts and shorts, especially through this weekend. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you have enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.